Imagine a conscious contact with God so strong that no matter what you are doing or not doing, that no matter what your kids are up to or not up to, and that whether you've got the person of your dreams or they're just not cooperating, that you are happy, content, and at peace. A space where everyone else's thoughts, attitudes, and actions are beautiful and exactly as they are supposed to be. Well, this is the space where I like to play. My name is Misha Z, and this is today's Bitch Slap. Join me as I shed light on the thoughts, actions, and attitudes that are causing you pain, and we train our minds to go to the capital S inner self, the joy that is waiting for us, the God within.
So I thought today I would talk about, how can I say this? I have been in the 2 Club X. This is the coaching crew that I started with. So they're coaching me and a bunch of other people to, start podcasts, start summits, start courses, sell products, create funnels, all these awesome things. And they give you more work than a person can handle. And I say that positively. So they if you have a full team, you can do everything that they ask you to do. So if you have a copy person, if you have a team to help you, edit up your podcast episodes, you have a person to help you with all these different things, right? And so like a project manager. So I've talked about this before on some previous episodes where I prioritize a lot of my day towards, and this is for good nor bad. It just is what it is. So I have a good 3 or 4 hours where I'm meditating, reading spiritual literature, or what I believe is spiritual literature. I'm doing some yoga, some exercise. Excuse me, I'm tired. I don't know if that's part of the spiritual process, but it is for me. So God bless anybody that's doing the physical activity. Hopefully it's in some sort of balance where it isn't become a massive obsession that's killing you. But you get what I'm saying. So let's say there's 2 hours. Let's say I do I'm going to average 2.5 hours of like what I would say routine, spiritual routine. More actually, because there's the nighttime routine as well. So, oh my gosh, where am I going with this? Excuse me. Sorry, I yawned in your ear. And then I just don't have the capacity to put in 10 hours worth of work. I just don't. And that acceptance is key. And so I feel extra behind. And I know I've talked about being behind, assuming there is a behind. But so what I was going to say is if I had a project manager, a copywriter to help me with copy, I had a video or a podcast manager / producer, and then I had the social media person to repurpose all the content that I'm creating. I would be way further ahead than where I am. And I say this with love and compassion towards myself. I read this I just read a post from somebody on Facebook where they were talking about, hey, if I could have gone back in time with my experience within the two CCX, if they could have gone back in time, they would have started hiring, building out a team sooner. And they had limiting beliefs that were keeping them from doing that, financial fears that were keeping them from doing that. I absolutely have the financial fears that are keeping me from doing that. I have some limiting beliefs. I'm very confident that if I, within this coaching program and as I've said on many other episodes, if I believe in the process and I execute the process, I know that I will have success. So, I've put engines in cars without knowing anything about vehicles other than a wrench and how to follow instructions. There's the 12 steps of recovery. Right? I've had tremendous success with that. And I could go down the line of following the instructions on a small scale with IKEA furniture, on a big scale with car engines and other programs and coaching this and that. And so I was just reflecting in the moment of if I was willing to spend the resources. So there's going to be a curve. There's already a curve of much more outflow than inflow. And at some point that those lines will cross. So as my expenditures are, a straight line across a graph, slightly going up, because the deeper I get, the more Vimeo, Canva, podcast software, just all this stuff, right? All the monthly expenses slowly creeping up. I suppose if you started hiring people and they had those tools, they'd pay for them, but you would be paying for the person. No matter, you get what I'm saying. But my income from said activities is zero, effectively. Hopefully to go up here when the summit launches or has launched. Perhaps when this episode is published, I'll be able to say, I had income. I had revenue. But no matter. Again, no matter. It's an interesting thought process to think, well, gosh, I've known for a while, especially with the social media, if I were to hire a social media manager that could repurpose content, I have no problem creating content, snapping pictures, recording audio. Obviously, here I am recording video, writing down thoughts and ideas. But there's only so much time in a day, and I don't prioritize turning that into social media fodder, which is awesome. And I think people that do a good job at it are amazing. So I look back and go, man, how much farther along could I be if I hired that social media manager, if I hired that project manager, if I hired a virtual assistant to help me, when the summit's going on, you're sending lots of emails, lots of responding emails, lots of details. Hire an assistant to help with that. And I'm wondering when the summit's done, maybe I take a risk and then start investing in support, because my vision is this: assuming that when this lands, the summit is done and it is what we call evergreen, which means that people can register for it, pay for it, and enjoy it for years to come, because it is pretty awesome, I must say, that I could start promoting that and talking about that along with my podcast on other podcasts, for example. And So to hire somebody to help me do that, schedule that, reach out to other podcasters, other YouTubers channels, bloggers, promoters, social media people, like really do make an effort to get myself out there. And that's an interesting concept. Stuff that was sloshing around my brain. And I look back and go, and so I'm sort of at a turning point. And I think, again, when I publish this, the summit should be done. The summit is not done as I record this. So I'm interested to see how my mindset is. I will also say that the deeper I get into the summit, the more I'm prioritizing working on things. So I'm doing lots of video editing right now. I'm, on iMovie. Now I could hire somebody to do all that and again, expedite the process. But I'm kind of having fun. Well, having fun. Now I'm having fun because I figured it out. I literally was swearing at the computer an hour ago. So yeah, I'm in a reflective point. Like, when do I pull the trigger on starting to hire people to help, or part-time, or virtual assistants? When do I take that leap? Oh, I'm yawning again. I've been putting so much into the summit. And again, when this gets published, I'm sure the summit will be passed and I'll be able to, it'll either have been not successful, some successful, mildly successful, good successful, super successful. But I love it. I'm having fun. That's it. Love to all.
Thank you for spending time with me today. As someone who is committed to growth and service to this world, I so appreciate your willingness to come with me, go within, and serve our world through change. If you found value in this podcast and you know someone who can use this message, share this episode with them. Share it so our mission can be achieved one episode at a time. And of course, subscribe so you can hear more. And lastly, for more resources on what has helped me on my journey and can help you on yours, go to belove.media/resources. That's BELOVE.media/resources. Thank you again for listening.